Hello, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. Today we're just going to continue on this here. I hope the camera's still working. The ESP32 is plugged in, so we're going to do a bit more of that. I had a thought yesterday where I was like, oh, I could actually switch to like an Atmega board, like an Arduino, and just having maybe USB-C serial, but also I could make a user space driver for it that would then have a direct plugin with OBS. So instead of using the OBS WebSocket, I could have a plugin that just directly goes there. And it should be fairly simple because then I could do one of two things. I could do one, just leave it as like a USB to serial and then have the OBS plugin read from the /dev/tty USB, or have it so that it is just you could have something that detects devices, find one that has like a UI, a product ID and a vendor ID that's the one that you expect, because I think you can write those. Actually, I don't know if you can, because it's the CP2102 chip that has the product ID and vendor ID, so I don't know if you can actually write your own in there. And then yeah, you could just have like a user space driver, some other stuff. But anyways, I want to continue on this one, do some Wi-Fi stuff. Before we continue, I actually want to see if I found this thing, LSP support. So I wonder if there's a way to just make the LSP experience a little bit better in the editor. Because right now I get nothing, and I just get like a known argument f no malloc dce, and I think it's probably because the clang, it's saying me 5 errors. Oh, there you go, there's 5 errors there. The clang D is not configured to use the same clang or whatever. So ESP clang toolchain is installed. Yeah. So compile commands dir. Oh, compile commands is interesting because that's exactly what I need there. So compile commands dir. So drivers path. All right, there you go. So clang D options path. Okay, so is this where I could potentially change it? So drivers is going to be there. So let's see. Clang D. Well, actually, this may be a something here, right? So if I look at this, compile commands dir is there, and then query driver, while listing GC compatible drivers that are safe to execute. Drivers matching any of these gloves will be. So I think query drivers seems to be similar to this drivers. Let's press save and whatever. So I think I just need to configure that. Now, one thing that I'm not sure is if I try to edit my NeoVim config, like how can I just say, oh, for this specific project, I want to change the like the clang D config. So there's clang D here, and you could change this, I imagine, command and stuff like that. So how do you would do that? So nvim config for specific folder. It's not really what I want. That's not exactly what I want. Nvim different config per project. Let's just look for that. I put file in each project instead of putting one file in my config. Maybe I have 10 Vim using colleagues. That would make sense, but I assume everyone will use IDs. I don't feel okay, sure. Direnv. Oh, that's interesting. this doesn't necessarily look like Lua, but yeah, you could basically say if this exists. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to do that. So Lua if file. I think I'm going to have to do it in Lua. That's the only. This is still working. Yeah, the problem is that obviously NeoVim has its own. It's a bit different. It's not really what I want. Alright, I'm going to try AI this one because I want to go faster on this. In a Lua config script for NeoVim, how can I check if a file exists in the directory nvim was started with? Alright, little AI. Vim loop fs stats, is that a real thing? Really? I don't know, this is so slow today. It's not internet, it's just, maybe it's the browser. Vim loop is now called Vim UV, okay, sure. Excludes all features in Vim, okay, so event loop, okay, that would kind of make sense. Yeah, I'm not really, I mean, maybe I'm doing it incorrectly and I should be doing this. Oh, okay, so this exists, okay. So let's see what the AI did for me. Method 1, method 2, just give him one method. File exists, current year get CWD, currently if file exists. So I'm gonna try to just grab all of this. So let's see. And put it right at the end, which would make sense. And then let's try that. And the file that I'm looking for is going to be .nvim.rc.lua, something like that, right? And now I can just do this. File does not exist. And I'm in my, okay, so now I can just quit this. Yeah, do this. New nvim.rc, should put a dot here, .lua. Save it, quit this, and here if I do this, file exists. Okay, so this is what I wanted. Now, just to keep things clean, in nvim lua, how to dynamically execute another lua script. Load file pcall load file, do file, load file. What did this guy do? It said execute, but I don't know if the execute exists. Nvim config local, which is basically just a souped up exrc. Does that exist actually? A file content initiation commands is generally called a vim.rc or config file. It can be either a vim script or init.lua, but not both. Configuration is located at this, okay. If nvim was started with -u file, then file is used as the config and all initiation until 8 are skipped. My vim.rc is not set. Nvim rc can be used to skip the initialization without running a file. None. If nvim was started with ESCS all initiation until 8 are skipped. A. Location searched. If the exrc option is on, which is not the default, the current directory is searched for the following files: nvim.lua, nvim.rc, exrc. That's literally what I need. So exrc option. Okay, so instead of rebuilding something, exrc enable. vim.auto.exrc true. Okay, let's just make things much simpler for myself. Actually, let me just go back here and quit this. Right, and then what I'm going to do is vim.o.exrc equals true. Right. All right, and then now I can go here. Delete this one. New dot, and what was it called? exrc.nvim. I think those are .lua. These are the ones. It's the plugin that I want to make ESP great again. It's everything in the built-in assist and some more. But I don't need the plugin. I just need. I think nvimrc.lua. Right, I don't want to read this thing again. Just give me the docs, since you can't give me the information properly. .nvim.lua I think is going to be how I want to call it. There you go. So now, can I do I don't even know if this is like a real thing. The problem is that my reload specifically reloads only the thing. So just choose view, then run trust. View, trust, allowed in trust database. Okay, great. I'm fine with that. Okay, so it prints. Great. So this seems to be working. Now it also seems to have all of my other config. So that means that it's cumulative in a way. And then I just need vim.asp.config, and for that I'm going to say I'm going to try to find the Clang D1, and then see if I can just, because there's a lot in there. Like, is there a way to configure it? It doesn't really tell me if I can override the default config or if I just need to like grab this whole thing there. So this is vim LSP config there. Okay. Root markers, get language ID, on attach. I want to basically change command. So I mean, I don't know if I just copy this entire thing or if I just can do it separately. Let me try to do it separately. Can I do this? vim.lsp.config. Hopefully it just merges it. And now I can do, so there's a Clang D, right? But there is a different Clang D which is in the tools ESP Clang D. So if I look for, let me just get here. So it's either an Espress, I think it's going to be in my local folder. Espressif, tools, ESP Clang D, ESP Clang, bin, Clang D. Okay, it's interesting that it has its own. So I'm going to just copy this and just use that as my command. Okay. And then there was a compile commands dir equals, that's the documentation, right? Additional compile commands dir, the build folder. So It's like current folder, but build. So I don't know if it's going to run it in the right place, but we'll see. And then there was a last one, which was the drivers, and drivers was query driver. I'm pretty sure. And this one is going to go into also into tools and risk v. So this one's going to be tools, risk, ESP-IDF, ESP-IDF. I don't think I need a GDB. And then another one of those, and then bin, and then GCC. Something GCC. Does that exist? Yes. So now if I grab this whole super mega long thing, copy that. I hope this is not going to take me too long, because I actually do want to write some code. I just want this to, I just wanted a warm up thing, but I don't like my warm up thing end up taking the entire session. I do need to do this instead, and this. Okay. Now let's see. I do have to quit and restart this one every time. Found underscore code. That's interesting because it did not. I guess every time you change it, you have to reload it. Yeah. So let's see. Let me open this, and now I can do check health LSP. Right. So it's not executable, conversion we used. So this feels like it's just I need to put the full path instead. I also need to like do a git init in there, because I can't continue like that. There you go. It's interesting that like the that file search thing there, it just doesn't take into account the git ignore unless it's a git repo. I wish you could just use a git ignore, but I don't know. So what was I looking at? I was looking at oh, and it also hide the hidden files, so it's not going to be great. So I'm just gonna full path those. Although, you know, in reality, I could just do the like the export thing, and it would potentially get the environment variable like an ESP-IDF home or ESP-IDF root, something like that. Okay. Don't know why I did W here. Okay. Active. The command seems to have worked. There is an onAttach, which seems to be in there, so that seems to be working fine. I'm checking this because it just made a noise. High temperature, yeah, it's just normal. The camera is running non-stop. Okay, so does that mean that? No, it's literally the same thing. Get the same error. F normal of DC. See if I can. Yeah, I'm not gonna get a lot of. Log is large. Can I just? It is large actually. It's a gig. Should probably clean it. Expressive clang D. Yeah. Target root directory is this. Command is all this with compile commands dir. Oh, maybe this build stuff doesn't work. Query driver, GCC. That's the configurations, and the rest is just my stuff. Okay, so let's see first. do I just need to basically say I'll de-hardcode those values one day? It's kind of annoying that you have to do that every time. It makes sense, but I wish you didn't have to. Nope, same thing. drv unknown argument. Because the thing is, it's not just these errors, it's just that nothing else works. It's all crossed, like lined through, because it just sources them from locally rather than in those. Like I can't even go to this definition, it just doesn't work. What do I have in my do I have in build? Do I have compile commands in build? Yeah, I do. So yeah, it just specifies this GCC is used, and I think this is why it says unknown argument, right? This is not working. Yeah, so f normal of DC is there, and I've got 600 of them. Let's see, nvim, just a shot in the dark there. Okay, looks like there's a thing. I don't really need a picker or a UI, I just need an LSP, but I'm using the native LSP and not like some other thing, so list the ports. ESP reconfigure ESP info. That's actually quite interesting to have some stuff in there. So IDF pi, find ESP clang D. Found ESP clang D. Oh, there you go. Command. Prefer ESD project root to avoid falling back to a parent git repository would break the. So root marker, SD config, and CMake lists. Okay, yeah, sure. Make clang D capabilities. What is that? LSP config. Find ESP, falling back to system clang D. CMD, compile commandeers, okay. Background index, clang ID, header style insertion, convention style, fallback style 11. So I don't think this is necessarily what I'm missing here. So clang ID, index project in the background, completion detailed, pretty print JSON output. And maybe I do need to copy that syntax there. So background index, clang ID. I don't think it's going to change much, but I'm just going to do it anyways. Same thing. So yeah, so there's a clang D there that is used. My commands are correct in that this is the clang D being used. Compile commands dir seems to be correct because it picked the fact that there's those extra stuff. I wonder if query driver is incorrect. Background is clang ID, it doesn't really matter. Because I don't know if this drivers thing is the same as query driver. There's nothing about driver here. No shrink wrap. F no shrink wrap. So it looks like it's a GCC thing, but Clang may not support that. It's a GCC specific compiler. So it could be that driver thing. Although this one doesn't do anything driver wise. It says like just use the clang D from oh, I did see a compile command, ensure compile commands, ensure clang D, snacks, I don't care about snacks. ESP build, snacks, reconfigure, config. So this is where you find the ESP clang D. Compile commands, dear. I'm not seeing the driver stuff, which is kind of worrying. VMF executable clang D. Use clang D version check. Okay, so you check it that way. Otherwise, you find home ESP clang D, scandir base, scandir bin clang D. So yeah, that's kind of like what I have. The rest is just commands, layouts, reconfigure. I don't know if it's in capabilities. That's the CMD. Make client capabilities, general position encoding. Okay, that's just that. IDF path, you may need to run source exports. That's great. Messages, compile commands exists. IDF, ESP. Okay, so I just need to figure something out. Let's quickly check using clang D. How can I have support? I don't know how to write this for GCC flags like -f no shrink wrap. So if you put in, yeah, but that's the thing. It is in my compile commands. Configure to accept GCC field flag. So command line options. Yeah, this is not really. Well, this is what I find a bit odd. But I think this driver thing is what I need to look at. I think if I'm not using the right driver, clang ID, background index priority, background index, query driver, comma separate list of globs for whitelisting GCC compatible drivers that are safe to execute. Drivers matching any of these globs will be used to extract system includes. I mean, that's just for system includes, not necessarily something else. I wonder if one thing that I'm missing is that if I'm starting this without the export thing, so OPT, expressive, oh, I'm not doing the right thing. Wait, where is export.sh? Am I crazy? I guess maybe it doesn't have, yeah, install sh may be executable, and the other one is probably not. Okay, that's probably why. Okay, I'm not crazy. So my thinking was, if I don't have this export thing, right, and it doesn't set up some stuff, when I start nvim, maybe something wasn't working, but I think that's not the case. So I'll just continue with this, unfortunately, and we'll just We'll just have to suck it up. IDF.py build, just get refamiliarized with stuff, and then there's flash and then monitor. That does take a while. All right, we'll try to sort that out maybe another time, and we're back here. So where we were yesterday, we had we connected to Wi-Fi, but not really. We had the first step, and the only thing we need to do is handle those events. So when we receive an event either for IP or for Wi-Fi, we need to do something. And it seems like this event group thing that you can set up means that you can then set bits on the event group, and then wherever you have a weight, you can wait on those. And I imagine the weight is a bit like using ePOL, for example. It's not like a busy wait, and then it'll just come back when it's finished. So probably going to start with so IP Wi-Fi fail. So it's interesting because oh yeah, I also need to call Wi-Fi connect when I receive the STS start, but I'm going to start with this one. So let me do a monitor. So a little look, and we can see here, handling Wi-Fi 0x2b and 0x2, and that's where it stops, and it goes to my office Wi-Fi. So that's what we need to handle. Right, so we have our callbacks right here. I'm gonna start here, and we can say switch event ID. Now, what type of event ID can I get, right? And I kind of want to do IP event and then do this, but I can't because I don't have the LSP set up. So sta.ip. Now sta.ip is pretty cool. I'm not going to log the IP just yet. Maybe I should. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Why not? So the idea is IP event.ipt. Okay. So it looks like they use the same name as the event for the type. So event IP. I kind of call it IP event instead of event IP. And I cast that from the data. I think I can do this, and that will work because event data is a void star. I don't think I need to explicitly. I am gonna log it. I'm gonna say IP %. Oh, it's just IP str. Oh, that's I imagine that's I can't find it. I can't look at it. It's a macro that probably gives you the format for those things. IP to str, and we get event IP info IP. So event, so IP event. I call it IP event IP info IP. And then we do Wi-Fi router account. So yeah, those two are gonna need to come back. See, it doesn't even complete those. I wonder if the LSP is just not working at all. An X event group set bits. X event group set bits S Wi-Fi event group and Wi-Fi connected bit. And it seems because Wi-Fi connected bit is actually a macro for bit 0, and bit 0 I imagine is just yeah, just 1. It's just 0. It's going to be 0 probably, or it's probably going to be a 1 actually, because 0 would be nothing. Right, so this is kind of like the idea. Now I probably need to break at the end of this. That would make sense. And then there's just like lost IP and then IPv6. I'm gonna skip IPv6. No, I'm not gonna skip IPv6. But I think it should be pretty simple in that I just need to do this. IP6, and then this just is a 6 here, and I wonder if I'm going to be able to do this because they're in the same scope. So I'm going to do IP6 here, IP6 here, and the rest is the same. I can call it IP6, but I think the strings are different. IPv6 str and an IPv62 str, I imagine, and an IP6 info. Interesting. And then what else do I have? I have like not handled and all that stuff. Okay, let's start with that and then see where that goes. I'm going to start on some of the Wi-Fi stuff as well, because I think the connect, I think you get the IP after, like you get Wi-Fi first and then IP. So I should have started with that one realistically. So case, Wi-Fi, event. The one I want is STS start. I put more logs after, but for now I just want to get something working. I think Wi-Fi connect is literally the thing. ESP Wi-Fi connect. And then just break. And then there is the thing of like disconnected, and there's a retry. I might just do that one. Wi-Fi event disconnected. STA disconnected. And then we have if Wi-Fi retry counts. Oh, we've got a retry. I've got a misstep retry. I think count will get me. That's the one. Okay. If it's smaller than 3 or Wi-Fi retry attempt, then yeah, if it's smaller than Wi-Fi retry attempt, ESP Wi-Fi connect, Wi-Fi retry count plus plus, and then otherwise fail. So it's X event group set bits S Wi-Fi fail bit. I'm starting to get a bit familiar with this. Build. Give me the errors because I probably should have one. Got IP6 doesn't exist. STA IP event got IP6. Maybe it hasn't built the IP6. Oh wait, I put the 6 all over here. This needs to be IP6 here, and this is normal. I don't think it's going to change much, because it's still complaining about. Oh, there you go. So IP-ADDR. But this is going to be inside the macro, isn't it? Ooh, that looks a bit messy. What's the actual first error? Why is there so much? Am I crazy or am I just like not scrolling? Yeah, it's printing like a billion logs. Yeah, so it's there. ESP, VA args, ESP log level, ESP log I, IP6 str, IP6 info IP. And it's complaining that it boils down to ESP IP6 ADDR block 8 and let value is required as unary and operand. Maybe I'll miss something. Oh yeah, this one is not ended. The other one is. Interesting. Bit of difference in signature there. Okay, next error. There you go. Got IP6 undeclared. Now, I wonder if one, I got it wrong. IP event got IP6, IP event ST8 got IP. Yeah, so I think there was probably a change in between when they implemented IP and IP6, and then they just changed the naming and some of the stuff, and then they just ignored it. All right, did that work? Yes. So now we can go and say flash, and then we'll see what we're gonna do next. Oof, that was loud. Once we have that set up, I mean, I don't really need to get its IP because I'm not going to start a server on it. It's going to be used as a client. I can do one of two things. One, I can go straight into, can I connect to OBS? Right? Because the server is started on this machine. I need to make sure that OBS is listening to it on all of the IPs. My fan's going a bit crazy there. Oh, my bar is did it crash? It did crash. I'll come back. I have the logs for the bar crashing there somewhere, and then one day I'll just sift through all of them and see every time there was a crash, and then try to stabilize it as much as possible. All right, so it's done. So it worked, and I got an IP, and then it disconnects after 5 seconds, and then it starts again. Like it does end. Oh, it disconnects 5 seconds, and it just stops. It just finishes. It doesn't. And I got 5 and A and 3, which is probably just this general disconnect. And I've got an IP here, which is okay. So it seems like I was connecting successfully this time. So part 2, code reference, conclusion. Okay. Now, what I'm interested in is ESP-IDF socket connect. What's the equivalent? The BSD socket API via IWIP. Protocol sockets, examples. Okay, let's look at it. This directory contains simple examples demonstrating BSD socket API. Each example contains readme.md. So UDP client, UDP server, TCP client, TCP server. I want to make a TCP client for now. Okay, there's just tool, Python stuff. I don't really care about that. Beyond Flash. Okay, so well, multiple examples in there. So TCP client has a README, and I may want to see the config because, yeah, maybe not. And test is just, I imagine, just mark Wi-Fi router. Anyways, TCP client, menu config. So you want to make sure that set the frequencies and example configuration. Set IP version example to be IPv6 or IPv4. Oh, this is the menu config for this project. And this is how to use it, and then just build in Flash. So I'm gonna have to look at the source code. So TCP client v4 and v6. So I'm gonna start with v4. I'm not gonna do the other one. So let's see. Host IP. Look at that. Sock ADDR in. PTON. Syn family. So it's so similar to what I know that it's gonna be really nice. And I'm actually tempted to then go and literally grab workspace, OBS, client, and then see if like, can we just grab this? The problem is like it's all like global state. It's not a portable one, so I would have to turn that into a library and then use it. With obviously the problem is that I would have to support like the different type of connect and stuff like that. Because here I'm using some stuff, socket, I'm using ePOL as well, which I don't think I'll be able to use. And then we've got a bunch of stuff there. Yeah, I am. This is a little bit bigger than I thought. So with ePol, basically, I've got tons of like terrible functions there I need to rewrite. And this is like kind of easy. What's going to be difficult is going to be maybe things like str and cmp if they don't have it, but I saw that they have it. I think what's going to be difficult is, let me look for it. That's going to be ePol create. I'm gonna have to transform that into ESP-IDF. I know they don't have ePol. I think they have a when ESP-IDF is implemented by calling select internally. So using select directly is recommended of choice of method available. So I might have to use select. Okay, let's get started on like just connecting and then see where we go. I am going to check if this is enabled. I have not enabled authentication, and I'm pretty sure that it should be fine. Right, so let's see that example. So Wi-Fi, connected to Wi-Fi, So once I'm connected to Wi-Fi is where I will want to do, I wish I had syntax highlighting for this, it's impossible to read. Right, access information operational RSSI disconnect to. So this is here, right? Here what I need to do is connect to OBS. Simple. And I'm gonna make a struct for the kind of clients, because I want to make it a bit more portable this time, and then see what I can do with it. So OBS client, and then I'll just have a global one. I'll just have a struct OBS client, OBS client. Can I do this? I can. Connect to OBS. So what I'm going to need is a sock ADR destination address. I might not need all of this because I'm just connecting, but what I will need for sure is a int socket fd. I always call them socket fd, and I might set up a int pol fd for now. And that is not what I was looking for here. I want to put it here. Right. I may even just give it as a struct OBS client star client. That way I can just say and OBS client just to get started with. All right. So struct sock addr in addr. Now this is gonna have to come from netdb arpa init syssocket. This is very similar to what I'm used to. So here include syssocket arpa init netdb. I don't think I've used netdb before. Okay. Back to where we were here, right? addr init. I can't do the autocomplete, so annoying. But it's sin family. Yeah. Then port H2NS. What does this do? 4455. Okay. And then address family, init protocol, I don't need this. host IP. So init PTON, yeah. So init PTON, but I could do init ADDR. So ADDR sinit sin ADDR dot ADDR equals init ADDR, because this actually supports the dot notation. And I just need my current IP with 106. Right. Let's see if this even just works. So it's not ADDR, it's SADDR. But it didn't complain about init ADDR, so okay, it's just not used. Okay, great. So there I should do socket, and I say client socket fd equals socket, and one of them is going to be a sock ADDR pointer. One too many D's. And ADDR with a size of ADDR, and then there I need to do I think that's what I need to do, not too sure. Port sock stream. Oh, that's get ADDR from. So socket is address family, which is AF init, sock stream, IP protocol, IP proto IP. Oh, so connect is when you give the address. Okay, so IP protocol is IP proto IP. So I'm going to duplicate this, and this is going to be IP proto IP. IP proto IP. Okay, this is going to be for connect, right? Connect is going to be client socket FD and the address. And that's just connect, and this is where I'm going to do the check, right? I'm going to say libc. It's not libc check, but it's just neg check, right? Which I'm going to. Now neg check is going to have 3 parameters actually: something to evaluate, a message, and something to return. If x is less than 0. Then I want to do p error, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to do ESP log e tag followed by error and message and return r. That's what neg check is going to do. And I'm going to do neg check on client socket fd. Sockets and return false. So I'm going to change this to be a bool. Okay. Now because I know that it takes a while to build and flash, testing is going to be a bit slow, so I'm going to proactively put more logs in there, I think. Connect false. Okay, and then get ADDR from stdin is quite interesting, because stdin is not necessarily a thing. So then you do this. If it's less than that, enable critical socket, socket created connecting, connect. If it's not 0, unable to connect, successfully connected. And then you've got a really nice while one with send sock payload strlen payload, and then receive into a buffer. So we're going to do a send, that's for sure. Client socket fd with payload and size of, is it size of? strlen payload and 0 at the end. I'm not sure where there's 0 at the end, but we'll see. And that's a send. And int air equals, and really I'm going to do a neg check with send and false and return true at the end. Okay, and then now I do need a payload. And that payload is going to be something that I can literally steal from here. Because it's kind of like fixed. Okay. And 106 is correct, 455 upgrade 13. WS protocol and WS key is where I also need to copy those. But these are probably going to be in WS. I'm not in the right OBS client src ws.h. Oh, it is not there. So where's WS key? Protocol is going to be message pack. I don't know why I'm doing this, because I could literally just go there. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's my key. Okay. Protocol is this. Okay. There you go. Oh, actually, wrong. And I'll just slap it right there. And accept key is there for sure. Why not? So this is going to be still okay. Let's do a build. And the key there is that I might not see something, but OBS will tell me if someone is trying to connect. So yeah, I think I'm missing struct here. And I think yeah, that's it really. Okay, payload doesn't exist. Sure. I mean, if it's like the same interface, that's gonna be nice. Okay, so I think I'm not doing the parsing properly. Struct sock ADDR star and dest ADDR, and sock is an int. So I am doing the right thing seemingly, and it's basically telling me that passing argument 2 of socket makes integer from pointer without a cast. Makes integer from pointer without a cast. I mean, I'm parsing it as an address of a different type is the only thing I'm doing. Do I need to do this? No, it's probably the same thing. Int conversion. It's funny because it does it here. Like, it's literally what it does here. Struct sock ADDR star, and you know what it's possible is like sock ADDR doesn't exist, so it thinks sock ADDR is a integer. Although I'm this is ADDR info. ARPA inet I have. NetDB no socket string. I'm gonna be missing string if I'm using properly. Let's see. Could I be missing something at the top there? I'm gonna. Oh, I have string. I have init. I have int type. I have syssockets. So I have everything I might need. ESP. I don't have ESP init, which may be the thing that I'm. ESP net if. But I wouldn't be. Like, I don't know if that would be the case, but I'm gonna add it. It's possible it's gonna say like, oh, you need to add it to the build now. It's missing. No. So passing argument 2 of socket, yes, makes integer from pointer without a cast. So is it saying that like socket is supposed to get an int as a second parameter? And I'm not. I think that's what it's basically saying. So maybe I'm missing something here. Oh, this is in connect, not in socket. So I just called. Did I call socket twice? Basically, is what I did. It's quite likely what it is, right? Yeah. This is connect. Okay. No, I'm not too crazy. All right, we're linking and flash. This is still working. Oh, look at these chunky thighs on the camera there. Good thing I don't have my fly open. That'll be So let's see. If I was to show my typing on the keyboard, it'd be more interesting maybe. So you flashed and monitor. Okay, I'm not printing anything, but I'm not erroring as well. Question is, did yeah, there you go. I can kick them and it connected, and you should try again there because I think it loops. So that one disappeared. Session duration, and it didn't identify. Okay, so we connected to OBS from the ESP32, which is exactly what we wanted. So next, the thing is that now we're gonna have to start doing all of this, right? There's gonna be this state. We need to loop through a bunch of stuff. Like it gets a little bit tricky, and there's two ways to go about it right now. One, I re-implement it. I'm not really a big fan because I've done that before. It's on stream. Two, I copy this file and I just like dump it back there and adapt it until it works. Or three, I copy this file, make it either like just like a HNSC, just library that's like in the project, or make it a .so or something that's compiled and linked against to be used. And I'm actually leaning towards number 2.5, where it's like I get this and I just adapt it, with the caveat that I don't know if I can use poll the same way. So I may have to do like some stuff saying, oh, if you're using the ESP, if you're using this type of poll, use this. If you use this, use this. But I don't think I want to ship this. So let's just copy this file. I think I'm going to start that. The other thing is, that's going to be a bit tricky, is that this also comes with a library called message pack that I made. And message pack is how you read and write from the communication between OBS and the client, how you encode the messages. And that one is definitely made as a linked library, dynamic library. So I need to find a way to just build that one as a dynamic library so it can be used. Yeah. What's a little bit tricky there is that if I want this project to progress, I'm basically going to get this like a huge piece of code, and I'm going to have to change it until it works. And then when it works, it should just work, which is different from what I usually do, which is add a few dozen lines, recompile test, add a few dozen lines, recompile test, and you get this progress, and you see an incremental change to things. So yeah, I'll have to see how I deal with all this. So, all right, let's go to OBS client and let's have a look at message pack. And it has this whole thing in there. So we've got a main, C, H, and the makefile actually makes a shared thing. So ESP-IDF make shared library. I could also just copy it across, but we'll see. The model of build for ESP application is that one does not build archive files, but instead provides the source of the library in what ESP calls a component. When we build an app using ESP-IDF, all the components are built, but they are only linked if reference. Okay, so I will have to make a component and just, that's fine, I can do that. So, how do you make a component? I mean, if I remember well, it's just a question of, there's main, so I can do mkdir. Can you do idf.py help? Can you create like a new component? Create component. Missing argument name. Create a new component with a name special argument. We create a new component subdirectory, specify new component's path, use -c. Okay, so it's literally just that, and I'm going to call it MSG pack. Okay. Let's see, ls msg pack. So it got its own CMake lists. It doesn't seem to have added the component, so I hope that this automatically scans the thing and see it works. But now I should have message pack include message pack.h, and then I have message pack.c. Okay, so I mean, I guess the only thing I need to do there is message pack.h, literally grab the entire thing. And to be honest, it's a bit too slow doing it this way. So I'm going to do a cp message pack.h ob sdec message pack include message pack.h. There you go. Do the same thing with the c. Right. Now I've got all of this, which this should be pretty simple. In the .h file, okay, and then now I can go into hopefully hello world. I don't need the test really. Where's the source? Here. And in theory I should be able to do include msg pack.h. Let's see if that even works. Right, so what's missing there is oh, that's components registry. That's not really what I want. Does it have message pack? Yeah, look at that. Someone has one. I want to use mine though. sbuffer new, packer new. Yeah, message pack, pack array, pack bin, init, return, unpack next. Yeah, cool. There's one that exists. I wonder if you can see the like, how do you, like, this is included, but I don't know how to update the CMake lists. Okay, it's just OBS using some CPU. Just keeping an eye on those things. Yeah, it's cool, but I just don't really know how to reference them. Like, I don't know what I'd need to add. Components tree. Like, I know there was a programming guide. Okay. Component configuration. So there's a project CMake list file. Okay, component CMake file, component configuration. Each component can also have a kconfig file. Yes, that's not really what I want. When writing an IDF component register. Okay, component requirements. So components car, engine, and spark plug. So car component include engine. Requires. So requires, and then I just say engine component and spark plug component include deers. Okay. So let's see. That top level one is what I have. That's where I'm not too sure. Wait, yeah, no, because what I need to do is to look at the CMake list of main. There's include deers, priv requires, but I also have requires MSG pack. Is that gonna work? could not be found. The component was not added to the build. The component has been moved to the IDF component manager. The component has been removed. Okay. What's priv requires? Has a public header file, but this header is simpler. Okay, let me take the top one. Requires engine. Needs to create a car requires engine. Include DIRs is in there. SRC gives the list of source files in the car component. Include dir gives the list of public include directory for this component because public interface is car h. Requires gives the list of components required by the public interface of this component. So car needs engine. Engine component priv sparkplug, and sparkplug component does that, and register include dirs, priv include dirs, main component requirements, common component requirements, including components in the build. By default, every component is included in the build. If you set the components variable to minimum list of components, okay. The component MSG pack couldn't be found. It's interesting. SRC message pack and includes. Yeah, so it just defines it like that. By default, every component is included in the build. Yeah, so that's where I'm a bit surprised. But like this one, the Hello World main, the thing, like it does need. It does requires MSG pack. The question is MSG pack, what does it find it by? Does it find it by name? Because when I look at this and it says you need this doesn't need anything. See here I am not seeing anything. Train the build, include the minimal set of components, main, and anything it depends on. So main should depend on something else. So that might be the minimal build stuff. The minimal build property can be set to on, which acts as a shortcut to configure the component variable to include only the main component. This means that the build will include only the common component, the main component, and all dependencies associated with it, both direct and indirect. If the components variable is defined while the minimal build is enabled, components will take precedence. Yeah, so it does seem to say that it would be, my stuff would be included because the main one, so main, okay, which is here, requires message pack. ESP-IDF requires not finding component. So you've got components, my components, CMake list, da 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 da. So priv requires is probably what I want. Include dirs, include dirs. Component Linux. Let's just bring the whole of Linux on there. This way of showing the posts on the forum is really not wanting me to read it. Just edit the mix fast, but that's not really what you want. The key to this, I wonder if you need CPP, IDF component.yaml, that there's no such file. It's kind of annoying because it feels very amateurish, the questions being asked there. My question is amateurish, but I'm following the documentation, right? I'm just saying, oh, you've got one thing, you can, when you use priv includes, although this one, priv include dears, see this one says, it's just the name, spark plugs. Is the name of the file incorrect? MSG pack. MSG pack. It is correct. And there's a component with the include dir and the C file. Oh, I've got a better error here. Well, not necessarily. Failed to resolve component MSG pack in build CMake. Component name was misspelled. I checked that. The component was not added to the build. It looks like by default they're all added, so I shouldn't worry about that. The component has been moved to the IDF component manager, which it has not. The component has been removed and refactored into some other component, or the component may not be supported by the selected target. Let's see if I can just do this. No, it still has the same thing. Like it can't find the component directory. ESP-IDF MQTT does not contain a CMake file. No component will be added. Found assembler. ESPT message pack. Failed to resolve component. That's what I don't like with these things. It's just that I just probably spend 20 minutes there just not doing anything because the documentation does not do the right thing. So there's like a -C in this project, create component, but that wasn't the right thing. The build system will look in IDF path components and project dir components by default. You created example component in the same path. Components. Okay, that is the answer. Did I write it? Did I read it incorrectly? Yes, it's supposed to be components. So it's my fault. Now it seems to work. No, same error. Because it's called component. Alright, come on. Now we're there. Okay. Yeah, it's no longer available, that's fine. Can come here. Sys features, STD-IO is going to be the problem, I imagine, at some point. Message pack, okay, yeah, that's fair. So line 238, you should put parentheses around arithmetic and operands of this. Okay, and then 16. So let's start by fixing those. 16 here. Yeah, so let's say return now to start with, and then there's another one in 26. It doesn't detect the fact that this is a macro that expands to have everything covered, so it's a bit dumb. And then there's, what was it, 230? Oh look, it just, now I've got some highlighting. Yeah, malloc is going to be probably what doesn't work as well. So let's see. There was a this or thing there, and I'm worried that it's just going to be all of them. 238. No, maybe not. Here. I think that's fair. It's interesting that this is actually getting the right syntax highlighting, but it's because I'm not using any of the ESP stuff in here. But yeah, malloc ESP-IDF. Heap memory allocation. ESP-IDF use the common computer architecture pattern of stack and heap and static memory. Because ESP-IDF is a multi-threaded RTOS environment, each RTOS task has its own stack. By default, each of these stacks is allocated from the heap when the task is created. C task create static. Okay. Top of our RAM contains multiple heaps. For most purposes, the C standard libraries malloc and free functions can be used for heap allocation without any special consideration. However, in order to fully make use of all of the memory types, heaps, caps, malloc. Okay. That's going to be an interesting. It does seem to me like the idea of portable code across ESP and other things is potentially not necessarily correct, because, for example, you're on a completely different machine with different types of RAM and you want to use the most optimal one. You might as well just not bother with some of the stuff. Alright, so it looks like message pack does not have an error when I build it. So what I'm going to do is create a new component, and I think I need to do -c components, and this one is going to be OBS. Realistically, I need another one for WebSocket, technically, so I'm going to start with WebSocket. I don't want to have like a billion of them. Should I embed? Yeah, I think I can embed it in there. Yeah. So now in components, I've got OBS with a OBS include and what. So now I can go into CMake lists, actually CMake lists of main, and say I need OBS. Great. And then I can start with a good old CP OBS client src main.c components OBS obs.c. It's not going to be super clean, but I'm going to put WebSocket inside the H there. Right, so I'll just need to move some of the WebSocket C code into the OBS one. Right, we're going to start having some issues there, but we'll see about that. Well, actually, let's just see if we can build it and see where we get back. Okay. B64 encoding is going to be another one. Which is a library, so that's going to be an interesting B64 encode ESP-IDF. PCB artists. It looks like you have functions. Embed tails by 64H. It's almost simpler as well than the other one. So we're gonna remove this one, see what other error I get. This is not gonna work because I need include message pack.h, which means CMake lists of OBS requires, or priv requires, whatever that means, message pack, while main CMake lists does not need message pack, and hello world main does not need message pack. Oh, look at that. It just kind of fixed itself. Yeah, look at that. That's a massive macro. And yet it just says I should be getting a comma. Yeah, it's interesting there because that. Anyways, okay, so that's just what I needed. And then the next thing is this encode thing. I'm gonna let it fail for a little bit because my idea is, so OpenSSL SHA. I don't remember if I need just base 64 or something else. I think I might need base 64 and something else. I forgot already. Well, that's going to be in obs.h, isn't it? Okay. This is just going to be annoying. Send calculate except from key. I need to do a SHA one. Okay. I forgot that you need those for this, so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to turn this into, well, actually this is already there. Okay, now I'm getting like legit stuff. Include demonstrate epoll events, so it doesn't know about epoll events. Epoll doesn't exist, so this is where things are going to start getting interesting. I'm going to remove the includes one at a time, and then it's going to start complaining. So WS doesn't exist because I just need to do this. And it doesn't know, what is it? OBS 11, so that's the one. So OBS CMake list message pack. Ah. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Never mind. OBS.h. Right, now I've got tons of errors, which obviously makes sense. Sure, there's a sign stuff that changes, but like there's the SHA one. I've got the base 64 encode state, and I've got main, epoll create. So let's just start with some of these. So one, I am not gonna need things like the scene name. Now main is going to have all of this removed because I don't need it, and instead you're going to be a void start kind of thing, right? It's going to be a start function, and you shut down, and it's not void, it's going to be int, right? And then epoll create is not there, so poll with an array of file descriptors, a number of them, and a timeout. Events, where is events specified? The number of polyfd structures in the FD, oh, polyfd is a structure, okay. Array specified by NFDs, the poll function shall identify those file descriptors on which an application can read or write data, or on which certain events have occurred. The FDS argument specifies the file descriptors. Okay. Examples. So you create a bunch of polyfds, structures. Yep. And then you get some file descriptors, you set which events you want, then you poll, and that's it. So I imagine you can do that in loop. But how do you know which one? I guess our events means that there were events there. Okay, that's so you can loop through all of them. Okay, great. So we're gonna start with we're gonna do some movement around some stuff, because this is gonna be a struct OBS client, and we're gonna get a struct poll fd FDS. So poll FD, what type of polling do I do? I think I only do one, so I don't really worry too much about that one. But I'm still gonna use poll anyways. Okay, poll FD, we're gonna do that. FD's 1. That should work. And then how do you declare them? You just put them in there. Okay, so in a way it's like simpler, but I do like the other one much better. Like you get an FD for the ePoll and you can do a bunch of stuff. Here I'm going to say in socket, you know, client FD is fine. I don't think I need the sock ADDR in. I think that could be local. Then I'm going to have a state. Remove this one and no state. Okay, now I should be getting some errors. So write to server is going to receive a struct OBS client and client FD. OBS sent anonymous, WS send write to server. Write to server is going to need some global. WS send is going to need some state. Set current program seen by name. Handle client read. So this is what's going to be interesting. Handle client read struct OBS client FD printf. I might start with ESP log E tag, and I'm have a local OBS. It's starting to, some stuff is starting to work, but this is not really complete there. State is going to be client state. strlen doesn't exist. I imagine that you might want to use string, but I guess it's fine. This one is ESP log E tag. The rest is not red, but I think it's mostly because there's more red up there. Stuff is going to give a little bit better there. Opcode. Right, send a handshake request is great. Even though this is hard coded, we'll have to just change those. Client struct OBS client tag. Right, I don't need to create an ePoll. Now I do need to do this. So this is going to be called OBS client start, and I just need a struct sock addr in addr, because I don't need the thing, and then I'll need to pass the IP. For now I'm going to keep them hard-coded. Now this is actually compatible, and it's called libc check, but it's probably not necessarily libc check. Now this is where things need to be a little bit different, because I don't need to do ePOL in client FD this, I don't need to do connected, I do need to send the handshake request, and ePOL wait becomes POL client FDs 1 minus 1. And I get a ret, which is if it's bigger than 0, then you do something. So if NFDS is 0, POL ended, ESP log I tag. And now it's not complaining. Well, the other one was complaining. I don't understand this. And then I basically need to go through a weird, I'm going to do this, and NFDs, I'm going to say 1 instead. Okay, and then I say if client FDs at I dot R events and POL WR bend POL out, POL in, POL in. I think that's what I want. If it's POL in, then I want to do this. And actually, I think that seems incorrect. I must have done the wrong thing. I need these two to disappear, and the format's correct. The only thing I'm missing is that when I start here, I need to make sure that my I need to receive a client. Struct OBS client and client. It's going to be just provided to me, and I'm going to initialize the client FDS at 0 dot FD equals client FD. Now I'm missing this because it needs to be right there. I might even put it, no, just put it right there. And here is going to be client with a pointer, client point, bum bum bum, connect. I need to change libc check because it's going to say p error, and instead I need ESP log E tag M error. There you go. Go back to where I was. libc check is fine. I might rename it later. I got a client FDs, client FD, handle client read is going to probably receive client. And then the only thing I'm missing as well is POL in on events. Now handle client read is going to need the client, which is great. Now read doesn't exist seemingly, but we'll see about that. And I wonder if this is an error because this is an error, but we'll see. All right, let's just do a little break here, restart the music for a little bit, and then do a build. Now there's going to be tons of errors, and then we'll see about that. Now you see I've got this undeclared thing. Yeah, I think I indeed don't have the right things. OBS.h. So should I fix them one at a time? I think I should probably try to fix them one at a time so I can clear them out. WS write frame differs in signedness in terms of like 139. So OBS.h 139. When you write the frame, WS write frame header. So should I just make this one unsigned? Is that what I needed? Apparently. Now SHA-1 and then basics. So all of the encode is going to be problematic. So I am tempted to duplicate this file, components OBS include obs.h into component obs ws.c and move everything under here and just delete it. Okay, and then go to CMake list for OBS and have ws.c. Go to ws.c and delete everything before this, without forgetting to add obs.h. Okay, and then yeah, so that should be a bunch of stuff that's don't need the endif. So this is where I can do something like a for declaration and then fix it later. Void SHA1 is going to be unsigned char star size t unsigned char star, and this becomes SHA1. And as far as I've seen, where was ESP-IDF base 64? This is what I need. And it's literally encode with this signature. So I don't even need to do some weird stuff. Output 64 out length, inputs STR length. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky for me, because there's this block N, there's the best 64 encoded, which calculates the encoded length. So what I need is return output, and then just say I have so output is a 64 for sure. Yeah, it's fixed to 64 apparently. You have to make sure it's large enough. Okay, so I could keep the encoded length, right, and then say output is unsigned char output encoded length, and then say encoded length output, and then outlen is the size, so I can do a size t outlen, and strlen input and strlen input. So input strlen input, input is going to be digest, and I don't think digest is necessarily the right size. Okay, and now I can just go like this, delete this. Okay, let me do a build. Every time I build, it seems like there's more stuff that gets fixed. I think it regenerates the compile commands, which may help with some stuff. So this is not found. Basically, for find not found, maybe one of the components need to be added. Need to add the missing header or menu config to see if I need to add some stuff. So the encoding and decoding function are actually built into the ESP32 ROM. The function is using the header file for embed TLS base 64 encoding and decoding. Okay. I just need another thing somewhere. This one says like WA what's the name? My eyes are starting to like not even stay open. I can't read. Embed TLS. Customizing menu config, components config, embed TLS. So menu config, component config, and I want embed TLS. Wi-Fi, embed TLS, hash functions. Oh, SHA-1. So I want that one. Encoding, decoding, core configuration, certificates. Oh, base64 is there. Okay, so it's fine. It's configured. But I think I may need to add embed TLS. So embed TLS, right? Include embed TLS base64 and an open thread embed TLS64. Embed TLS base64 file name found in the following components. Missing embed TLS find in the following components. Another possibility may be that the component of this feature is not enabled in configuration. Only config check first required impression enabled. Okay. Let's see. I feel like it's in two places is the problem. The recommended basics for API to use is the embed TLS one. Include as embed TLS base64. It looks like you just need to do base64, possibly. Although this does not seem correct. You can use embed TLS / base64 library, but it's not user friendly at all. What do you mean user friendly? What do you care? You're just doing base64 encoding. Do you need user-friendly base64 encoding? Let's try to see if I can add it as a component in CMake list of OBS. Embed TLS. That'd be great if that was the one thing I needed. Oh yeah, that didn't do the error. Okay, so let's see next. Incompatible pointers with write to server. Okay, that's fine. So for that, I'm going to go to message pack, and message pack is going to have an MP writer. That's not exactly what I meant. I don't think it's in message pack actually. I think it's in obs.c, and I think that write to server is just reusable thing, right? Client, and I do want to here do void star data, and you call, well, how does that work? Write to server. Write to server needs client and is given to WS send, and WS send is in obs.h. So ws.c, ws send, there you go. Okay, and I've got this writer here and void star data. That's what I need. And then the writer here will receive as the first thing the data. And obviously I need to change the definition in obs.h. obs.h. Interesting. Because I will send. Did I put it as the last thing? I think I did. Void start data. Okay. Now if I go back to obs.c, write to server does require something, and it's going to be the client. And this is going to receive client as a struct obs client star client. Okay. Incompatible pointer. So write to server is supposed to receive client first. Yes. So I could either cast it or write to server. Write to server is going to receive a struct obs client star client as data being this, and void. Okay, now write doesn't exist. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does. We'll see. So now let's see. Should get closer to potentially getting more errors. I'm gonna start with a clear. Might be getting more errors, but it's because I'm just working through them. So write to server on 123 now is also getting the same issue, which I think is fair enough. No, this is not correct. What's the error here? Void star const okay, void star to parameter void. Okay, so WSN does not have the right signature in obs.h, because here you're supposed to receive a void star data, which now it stops erroring actually. WSN in 157, which is not that far. Here you need the client, and the client is going to be here. Struct star struct obs client star client. Next, it's kind of annoying that I can't rely on my editor to tell me. 195 and 222. Now I know this one is client arrow. 222 is client. Next is 226 and 1246. So actually 226 is going to be right around the corner. CRC name is one that I need to change there. That's just what do you need to do once you're connected. I'll need to take it out. I need to find something to do here. Okay, and then there was another one. I don't know where. Getting smaller. 246 and 258. Yes. I'm not too sure about 258. Requires 3 arguments but only 1 given. So ESP libc check is potentially not correct. Yes, a comma here. Right. Then we're getting more errors, which is great because I'm one of those which is really annoying. Log color, ESP log level, log color, ESP log ETAC error. It doesn't seem to be liking this. ESP log E tag foo. Aha. Probably gonna need to put it maybe high up in here. Getting the same thing of like expected this. What if I expanded it? So PRIU32 is where stuff is a bit weird. But I'm not seeing an error. I'm not seeing a problem here. Just to see if I can make it work, I'll just do this for now. And it's possible that it's not... Okay, that seems to work a little bit. No, not necessarily better. But this 262, I'm going to do 262 and then the end also, I'm going to clean those up. Okay, start with these, see where we go. 43. Okay, now I still got this weird ESP log thingy that I'm not necessarily liking there. In libc, ESP log E tag M. Could be tag is not defined. It is there. Tab is here. And then I do return -1. So do 3 bigger than that. See, there's like an empty string here. Server disconnected. I realize that you don't really need these if you use ESP log E. Oh, is it actually in it's libc check that does it? Oh, I'm just am I completely missing the mark there? No, I am passing the string connect. Let's see. It doesn't complain when I expand it. It does complain. It says 297, for example. Call object is not functional pointer. (97). Expectations 3 have 2. Yeah, so you do need to have it as a thing. Yeah, I'm kind of like annoyed with this libc, the ESP stuff, because I can't really tell. So what I'm going to do is this for now, and then see if that helps me progress. Great, now I can move towards something better. So here, WSSend, conflicting types, WSSend, with a void star, and the other one is not the same. So if I go into ws.c, WSSend, I have a void star here, and here you're missing your void star. But it's redefinition, so user data. See, because I keep this. Oh, this is going to be user data, and that should help a little bit. Digest. Oh, it's interesting because that actually worked it now. Digest is char star. And this is expecting, so I'm going to do, what am I doing? There you go. I don't think it should be, I mean, it isn't signed. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then there's just output. So you're supposed to do output, and output is not const. Not necessarily. But I actually wonder if I could cast it. Is output mallocked? Well, I hope it's mallocked by... Ah, no, it's on the stack there. Alright, let's see. Next error, great. Conflicting types. Return type, that makes sense. OBS.h. Unsigned. That one is super strict, this compilation there. Okay, great. Differs in signedness. Cool. I'll just maybe cast it because strncmp shouldn't really do that. But now obs.c. Let me tell me where it is. 190. Because my thing is not correct. strcmp. Okay, 12. Oh, not really. Don't really see. 3s.c. Sure. Wait, did that actually compile? That's a bit scary. I'm not sending the thing that changes the scene, so obviously it's not going to work. But connect to OBS, so I can remove the the OBS client. Actually, I'm going to keep it there. And connect to OBS is literally going to be OBS client start client. Now OBS client start doesn't exist. It's in obs.c right here. But if I go to obs.h and paste it right there, OBS client's not there. Where is my OBS client? Damn, that's exactly what I wanted. I can grab all of these and slap it right there. polyfd can be sourced here. Incomplete type. So OBS client is not so main. Now OBS client does not have a complete type. Blah 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 blah. It's because I did not include obs.h. Looks like I don't even need this. That is very scary that it's like building. It's not gonna, yeah, so SHA-1 is not gonna link properly. So embed TLS SHA-1. Do you have the H file? You don't have an H file. That's kind of annoying. Shower and finish, self-test. embed, that's the one. So input length output of 20. Super simple. Embed TLS SHA-1. Input length 20. Embed TLS SHA-1 doesn't exist. I mean, it is there, so we'll see if it complains. Yeah, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I mean, it could be my configure that doesn't work, but we'll see. ESP-IDF embed TLS SHA-1. Now this one actually does not exist. See, library is there. It's possible that I was looking at an older version. That looks very similar. Embed TLS SHA-1. SHA-1 finish, SHA-1 update, process start init, 0 eyes. Oh, there's embed TLS platform.h, platform.c. Like, I'm not seeing the .h file. It's possible that it's just like in a oh, include this here. Okay, and oh, maybe I just need to add SHA-1 here. And basically SHA-1. Okay, I think that's all I need. In here, SHA-1. No certified directory. So this is where I may need to. So this one said there is a open thread embed TLS SHA-1. So do I need to use open thread instead of embed TLS in my CMake of OBS? It recompiles everything when you change that, which means that if I'm going to change it again, it's going to re-recompile. Yeah, same problem. Oh, now it's actually base 64. That's not there. So what if I do it embed TLS? What if I did both? Because it didn't compile by SHA-1 this time. It does feel like it's one of those where I may need to configure it somewhat. There's a kconfig. And that's SHA-1 that's complaining. It says open thread, third party. Yeah, I think open thread is not what I want there. I might need to do another menu config. Let's see quickly. Working on a ESP-IDF project, and I can't get embed TLS / SHA-1.h, even though it is in the sources of the component, and embed TLS base 64.h works. Right, so we're back to embed TLS SHA-1. There you go. Enable SHA-1 support, yeah. Embed TLS, yeah. Oh, that includes all the SHA variants. Okay. Let's do menu config, just to make sure. It's because I moved, I hit some keys as I was doing stuff. So yeah, component, and I mean I did embed TLS already, and hash function SHA-1 enabled. Maybe I didn't save. Okay. Yes. I think it's gonna have to redo the whole thing, isn't it? No. So it's still doing the same thing. ESP-IDF embed TLS SHA-1.h not found. Let's see. Nothing in there. CSC include. If I had my my stuff set up properly, I could just tab it, right? Oh wait, it's there. Okay. It is there. It's SSL. So it is not there. So SHA-1 is not there. ESP config. So yeah, maybe they removed it. So ESP-IDF SHA-1. How do you do a SHA-1? So these have like their own. Calculate the SHA-1. Calculate using register stacks implementation. Crypto SHA-1. Kconfig. Okay. Using ESP-IDF, how can I calculate a SHA-1? Embed TLS. Yeah, Embed TLS does not have SHA-1 in mind for some reason. Crypto library, ESP crypto auth, ESP SHA. Interesting. Let's try that. Mostly because I want to go a bit faster there. And then now there's a this that I can use right here. This is undeclared identifier, so it's not going to be great. No such for ESP crypto auth. HW crypto SHA. That's 2.0. HW crypto. No. It's crazy that I can't find it. ESP-IDF SHA-1. I find it odd. I mean, it would be in WS supplicant, but I find it odd that I can't. So embed TLS doesn't seem to have it anymore, even if it's in configuration. See there, there's like an ESP SHA-1. The AI doesn't necessarily know that. Cryptographic libraries. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Component config cryptographic libraries. Memory management, partition, power management, security specific, STDIO, system settings, Wi-Fi, heap memory, embed TLS is there, pthreads. It is there. Core config. Enable. I feel like I'm missing something, even though it's there. SHA-1 is enabled. Could it be just a different name? Could it be in something called hashing? Platform. SHA-1 is there. I don't know if the private thing is gonna be very satisfying, but I'll see. I don't know what's in private now. I wonder if there's like a top level exported thing that you should use instead. That shouldn't be in private. So embed TLS SHA-1 is not found. I kind of want to go to see the file. Oh, I can. Yes. So what do you have in there? I've got a context, and then there's a start, a finish, and everything. So I think what I'm going to do is exactly that, in that I will do this. Right here. And these are going to be the values that I need, so concatenated str length key plus strlen magic, and the output is going to be digest. And because it's not red, I have high hopes. Completed bootloader. Now undefined reference to SHA in HF. So the H file is there, but the implementation is not there. So I think this is pretty clear that embed TLS does not have that thing. Let's see. Embed TLS private SHA1.h. Why is it in private? Could I go in here, find components, embed TLS? So I could go to OPT, expressive, components, embed TLS, and then grep embed TLS SHA1. So in private there is an embed TLS SHA-1. There is a built-in SRC embed TLS SHA-1 MD. So it's only in the private one. It doesn't seem to be re-exported. Now, built-in SHA-1 and MD. The built-in SRC SHA-1. Markdown uses SHA-1, not Markdown MD. So could it be MD that I need to use? Drivers, built-in, SRC, MD. So it does all these includes. You see if define embed TLS SHA-1. But this is a big case. Embed TLS MD. MD info. Maybe that's what I need to do. Embed MD info, and I can say which digest I use. Type, and then I've got a MD list, init free, init ctx mds clone, get size, get name, start update, MD. I need an info, input, size, output, and the info is this struct. Type def struct. That's not really going to be super practical if that doesn't exist. I'm slouching. So I think I'm going to do MD here. I'll do MD. And here I'm going to do MD with an info and all of these things is what I need. And I need a embed TLS MD info T info, which I don't think exists. Embed TLS MD info T. MD info T. Incomplete type. Const with a star. Oh, embed TLS info. Okay. Info. Can't really tell what's inside there. It's literally just like define internally in library MD wrap. It's here, MD wrap, and type, size, and block size. Okay, so I need to define a type. But how do you create that info? Context. So do you just make a context? Info from type. MD info from type. Oh, that's what I need. From type. Enum. I don't need to do enum, whatever. Go to definitions. Okay. embed TLS SHA-1. That's not correct. And it's MD SHA-1. Const embed TLS MD info T pointer info equals. Okay. Damn, you have to read the source code to have something working. Ooh, I think that went further. Yes, flash, and see where we go. I've not the most hope for this. What happened there? Not enough space. Oh, man, that's not nice. Set target ESP32 C3. I have to rebuild. It looks like the target wasn't set everywhere automatically, so I may have had to rebuild everything. All right, I'm way past my limit, and I usually stop there. So I'll do a little bit more and then go. Right. Come on, come on, come on. I mean, in theory, it's going to connect to Wi-Fi, and then everything should work. The only thing that I'm not sure is the polling, because I haven't tested a version like the normal polling. Accept key mismatch shutting down. Okay, so at least there is something that's somewhat working. All right, I'm gonna stop there. I want to do more, but basically what we're gonna do is tomorrow what we'll do is just print the digest, the keys, the what is expecting, and then see what's going on, because I think it's just this calculating the accept key, and then that's it. But the fact that it said accept key mismatch means that it went to it went there, see, 19, and it did try. So the fact that it has accept key mismatch means that it actually got a response, that it parsed it and it did something. So I think just need to sort out this base 64 and SHA-1, and then in theory it should just work. And it's interesting how kind of easy it was to just port a C program that's supposed to run on Linux to a different platform. But anyways, that's it. I'm done. Bye.